seconds and it won't be long. You're gonna look for me and I'll be gone. I believe, I believe, oh, I said I believe, oh yeah, I believe, baby, trying to make a fool out of me.
Hello and welcome to the Jammin Jukebox Radio Show. I'm your host, DJ Delta Dawn, and it is Thursday night, and we are so glad to be here, and we're glad to have you with us tonight listening and tuning in. We have got an awesome guest with us tonight. I'm talking about Amy, Lynn, and the Gunshow. We are excited to have them with us. We've been trying to get them on for a while now, and we've just been excited ever since we nailed down the date. So without further ado, I'd like to bring them on. Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Hello.
I'm great. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Well, thank you so much for being here and taking time out of your busy lives and schedules. I tell you, of late, you've really been, playing a lot of shows and so forth, so it's just a real treat to have you here in the midst of, your busy world, so to speak.
Aww.
So thank you so much, so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, so it's nice that you both are able to be here tonight because, like I said, you guys have quite the following, and as I was telling you before we went live, we have had a lot of feedback today. People have just been really buzzing about this and talking about this between Twitter and Facebook, and I've been getting a lot of emails, and so we've got quite a listening audience tonight, which is really cool. We've got people in the chat room, and so it's just a great thing. So excited for you guys.
It's a good day, Dawn.
I know, really. So I guess I want to start off by asking, probably a question that you guys get a lot, and that is, where did you get the part of your band name Gunshow? Where did it come from?
Well, it has to do with biceps and not real guns. So that's the real answer to that. But it's a joke between Alex and I, right, Dave?
Yeah, it's we came up with this name just because most of the guys in the band have fairly small biceps, and I don't know if you've heard that joke, which is hey, do you have tickets to the gun show? And then the person says, what gun show? And then you point to your biceps and you say, this gun show.
Oh, people do that to me all the time.
Yeah. And so it's sort of an ironic name because, well, most of the guys are not particularly big guys, except for maybe our drummer. He seems to have big biceps.
Yeah, actually, he does. Girls like that.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I mean, who would have thought it? Of course, we knew from your sound that it was not a bunch of people toting guns. I mean, it's just awesome, but that is really cool. And thank you for sharing that because that's kind of like a little inside joke between the two of you. So now when I think of Amy, Lynn, and the Gunshow, this is what will come to mind every time, no doubt about it. So how long have you guys been together as a band?
Well, a few years.
Yeah, we got our start making music together when we were just dating each other.
Yeah, we met in Switzerland. We were doing the European tour of Grease, the musical. And
cool.
Yeah, I played Rizzo, and he was in the pit playing saxophone and clarinet. And we met that one night, and after, a few months, we were like, man, we should really probably try to make music together.
Yeah.
And right there.
Yeah, and then it sort of started out as a project to demonstrate Amy's, vocal capabilities. So really what I did is I put together some tracks for Amy to sing over, and I used various friends in the New York City area and also a friend in London as well. I had them record their parts and send them to me, and I put them together on a laptop. And that was our first effort together. Actually, it was just
Small little CD.
Yeah, small little CD, and we called it Amy Lynn. That was actually before we called it The Gunshow. The name, The Gunshow came along after we decided we wanted to put a band together and play some of these songs.
Yeah, we just comprised a whole bunch of our friends who Alex went to school with, pretty much.
Yeah.
In college, and there's The Gunshow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It came out of necessity. We needed to name the band something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and and as they say, the rest is history. Now, the listeners probably don't know this about me, but I found you. I kind of came across to you guys by accident on Twitter back in 2007. I mean not Twitter, MySpace, excuse me. And that's kind of back when MySpace was the Facebook of yesterday, like ancient archive.
Really?
And I had a radio station that I just kind of started as a hobby, just because I got so sick of mainstream radio playing the same pop songs 50 times a day and 10 commercials in between. So I had all this music, loved all this. So I just started my radio station and just kind of put a page so anybody could listen. And then I started having indie artists, start approaching me. Hey, what do you play? Can you play? But I was looking at different, indie artists by virtue of that, and came across you guys, and I was like, wow. So I have been a fan since then. And have kind of followed you guys, and when I started this effort, with doing the interviews here on Blog Talk, I immediately thought, I've got to get these guys. I've got to get them on because, you were like one of the first that I actually came across when I was kind of doing my little thing on MySpace, and I was just like, wow, there's so much good music out there that you don't hear on mainstream radio that I think personally is better. So I've kept, I've kind of kept up with you guys to see, where you are and what you're doing, and that's why, I was just so thrilled when we were finally able to put this together tonight. And
that is so cool. I didn't know that, Dawn.
Yeah, for sure. And I try to be, as part of this effort with promoting indie artists and trying to help them be heard. I've kind of gone back to the recesses of that time when I was doing just solely my radio station for a hobby, and calling upon those people that I was actually playing. You had actually sent me an album back then, and honestly I can't remember. I've moved since then, and I tried to find it before in the last couple weeks, and I can't find it, and I honestly can't remember if it was Amy Lynn and the Gunshow or if it was Amy Lynn, but it was good stuff, I can tell you that. So, but it was so good, and I was just, so excited to get it, and again, was glad to get your new music. And speaking of albums, let's talk about this album that, your newly released album is called Clearly, and it is clearly a winner in my book. No pun intended there. But, how did this album come about for you guys?
Well,
we decided that we just wanted to capture the sound of
the live performance.
The live performance. So
because when we did the live performance, we had 9 pieces, and I think that's the hardest part about recording. So with our new endeavor.
Yeah, well, the hardest part about recording is that there's so many people in the band. But we found a studio that we really liked in Brooklyn called The Glass Wall. And we managed to track the whole band at the studio live. Mm-hmm. And we picked our favorite songs. We had a limited amount of time, so we picked 3 of our favorite songs that we've been playing at shows.
Right.
And it's, Clearly It's Me, I Believe to My Soul, and I Do. And we just went for it, and instead of trying to track it all on a laptop, we took it to a real studio and captured the live sound, which is pretty close to what you get at a live show.
Sure.
I think we've done 3 of these little short albums, and this is definitely
the closest.
The closest to the experience you get at the shows.
I think so.
Yeah.
And I love how you describe that, because when I first heard it, heard the songs off this album, that's exactly what came to mind. I could totally envision, being at one of your shows and hearing the exact same sound. It was that big, and and that's kind of unique for an album itself, because when you're in studio, sometimes it's hard. That's hard to emulate, a live sound in studio. But it really, I think you did a great job of capturing that for the listener. And there for a moment, I mean, I honestly almost thought that you had recorded it live, performing somewhere. I guess in a sense you did, because you were in studio with your band, but to have that essence captured, in your recording, that was just totally awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're really trying to do, and we're hoping that with our next effort that it could even be more of an essence that we can capture. So yeah, this direction is good for us.
That's true. Well, now your song, let's talk about that for a minute. Clearly It's Me. Every song, as they say, has a story. Is there a story behind, an inspiration behind this song?
Well, we have a lot of talented friends, coming to our shows, and as it turns out, a sort of an up and coming songwriter who has written musicals and just songs. His name is Joe Canosian. He approached us and wanted to collaborate with us, and get us to perform a song that he'd been working on with a friend of his, Anna Marquardt.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because he sent this recording of him and a woman performing it. It was just him on piano, and it to my ears it sounded very much like something.
It sounded like a musical theater song.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
As you can tell, from listening to the track, that's not what we're conveying.
Right.
So it really was this interesting exercise, in a sense, for us. Okay,
how do we change this into something that we do?
Yeah.
Band, yeah.
I mean, Joe had come to a lot of our shows, and in our shows we have, 2 backup singers, 3 horns, bass, drums, and keys. And so Joe, liked the idea of the backup singers, and he presented the song to us, and we listened to the lyrics, and we just we liked the lyrics, and we liked where he was going with it. So. And
he also told me after that, when he came up to us after the show and said, I wrote this song for you. I'd love to get together with you guys and, have you guys turn it into a gun show song. He liked it. He lied. He fully did not have the song ready. He was just waiting to see if we would allow for him to write for us. And he said he did it that night.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
wow.
So he took the chance.
Yeah. And so that was basically the beginning of Amy and I working with other songwriters, outside of ourselves, as a duo, a writing duo. And we found that it's really refreshing to work with a third party.
For sure, yeah.
And when you look at some of these records, like say if you pick up the Adele record, and you look to see who wrote the songs.
It's about 4 people.
Yeah, sometimes 4 people, or it could be 2, it could be just 1, but at least 3 most of the tracks. And I always used to wonder, I was like, geez, what's up with that? But it really does kind of take a team of people to put out, a song that's worth listening to.
I think so too. Yeah.
Everybody brings something to the table.
Yeah.
And so, that was basically.
That's how clearly it came to fruition.
Yeah, I mean that was our debut, as working with
Joe,
with an outside source.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly. I mean, it's the collaboration effort. You guys are so talented as it is, but to have someone like that, just approach you in that way and say, hey. Look what came out of it. Gosh, I mean, that is a great song, and that is one of my new favorites I've discovered of late. Ever since you sent it to me, it's just like, I mean, I can be in the middle of my day, and that song is like running through my head. It's like stuck in my head. So, you know, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be at work or wherever, and it's like running through my head, you know. So I don't know if that's like a subliminal message or something, but it is really a cool song. It's a catchy song. And I must tell you, Amy, your pipes on that song at the end, when you build that note, I don't know how you do it, but my gosh, it is unreal. As a matter of fact, I played that song a couple weeks back on my weekly Saturday night show where I just do a lot of indie music. And the first week I played it, when the song ended, I said, that girl can sing, as we say in the South or something. And, you know, but really, no doubt. I mean, you just hit it, and it's unreal. It's like, where does it come from? I mean, you know, but your sound is amazing. And
thank you.
And you know, to that note, I've watched a lot of your stuff, you know, on YouTube, a lot of your live videos, and the one thing that I've noticed in every single one, all of your shows are just so packed full of energy, and they have that big band sound, and I just watch, and it's your stamina as a band is just incredible. And how do you prepare for such engaging, energizing shows? I mean, I would be just dead dropped at the end of a night like that.
Well, I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, and I think that my past experience, you know, I used to do a lot of theater in the past, so we would do sometimes 15, 16 shows a week, which, you know, you end up building up stamina. And so, so now I just, you know, practice a couple weeks ahead of time and get my stuff together, and when it's showtime, it's showtime. It's not, we don't do 10 gun shows a week. So, I mean, I wish we did, but we don't. And I bet you that would be a little bit harder. But, I just think that over the years I've gotten used to it, luckily. Thank you, you know.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing that I noticed is not only are you in the band, you and Alex and the entire band, you know, very energized, you know, you can feel it and see it from the crowd response to your music. And, you know, I mean, I even feel it. Even when I listen to the album, this latest album, it was just like, you know, you can't help but feel good. The music is fun. You know, it's just, it's lyrically nice. It's got just so much to it that just, you can't, if you're in a bad mood, you need to listen to your music. That's all I got to say. It's real uplifting in that way, and it really does, you know, kind of put a pep in your step kind of thing. And that is, you know, one thing that I noticed that I couldn't help but kind of chuckle a little bit about is you describe yourselves as the humor and elegance of Ray Charles paired with the rawness of Janis Joplin. and that's kind of true because, you know, I didn't really think of it like that until I read that, and it was like, you know, that's so true, you know. And talk a little bit about that. How did you guys kind of come to that conclusion?
Well, you know what? I think that we're evolving, and I'm actually not loving that anymore.
Oh, yeah?
No. I'm thinking more recently, it's more like Janis Joplin sings Motown-esque tunes with Bette Midler delivery.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I like that one. I don't know.
You know, I do too.
We had to come up with something, and that resonated for us a couple months ago. But as we're thinking about it more, I don't know. I'm not loving it.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Amy on this one. I mean, at the time, it definitely seemed right, just because, you know, when I think of Ray Charles, I think of, you know, music that's centered around the voice, keys, and horns.
Yeah,
which,
right. That's what we do.
That really is our band. But Ray Charles, I mean, you know.
He's got soul.
Yeah, he definitely's got soul.
So that's where we were coming from, I think.
But, you know, I mean, he's an older man. He's not like this petite little, you know, woman with a gigantic voice. But, you know, there's a sensibility to the Ray Charles music that I think we really love, and that's why we're, you know, so, you know, that's why I ended up in the blurb in the first place. But, you know, as it's really hard to describe your own music
to
the outside world. So that blurb you see is like our attempt at it. Because we really want people to come to our shows, because we feel like once we get people there, they're going to want to come back to the next one.
I believe that, and
if
I wish you guys would come down south. I really do, because I would so be there. It's not as conducive for me to get up to New York. I've always wanted to come to New York. So, of course, if I ever make it there, I'm going to contact you in advance and go, when are you playing? Maybe plan my trip around it, because, I would love that, because I would love to catch one of your shows, because I think there is nothing better than live music, because you are getting to see talent in the raw, but totally that passion and drive of what people do, like yourselves, you're really getting to showcase your talent. And live, there's just nothing better than live music, in my opinion. And if you guys are ever down in the Carolinas, please let me know, because I will make a point to be there. That would be so awesome. You guys just need to go all up and down the East Coast is what you need to do. But I can totally see what you're saying, Alex, about wanting people to come to your shows, because I can tell you that the first time I heard anything by you guys, I was hooked. And that's why I was so excited to see this new album, because I was like, oh, yes, it's just the kind of music that, like I said, it gets stuck in your head. You can have fun with it, and you're always left wanting more. And so live, I know you guys would just be off the chain. I mean, it would be a great show. So no doubt about it.
You know that we just finished a music video to Clearly, too, which will be being released soon.
Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome, and I am so excited. But I can't wait to see that.
Me too.
I know.
We haven't seen it. We did the shoot about a month ago, and we said goodbye to the director, and he said, okay, I'll have it done for you in about a month. And it's about a month, and it should be coming soon, but we had no idea what to put together. We had no idea, Dawn.
Well, now, what was that like for you, shooting a music video? Because I'm sure that has to be different than, than being in the studio or performing live. What was that like?
It was so strange, but we had all of our family and friends join us, so it was really like a fun party. Right?
Yeah. And what's kind of challenging about doing a music video is that you can be playing while you're filming it, but obviously what the viewer is going to hear is the pre-recorded studio version.
Right.
So what's happening is the director, he has that track playing at the shoot, and so everybody in the band kind of has to keep on moving the same way they always were moving. For the first shot that the director took. So, like, the director has 3 cameras going on at the same time, and he keeps on taking different angles and stuff. And, you're basically just, the song is it's around 4 minutes. So, you just keep on doing this over and over again, and, you're trying to remember, well, wait,
what the hell did I do?
Did I move my elbow at that part, or,
Yeah, it was.
But, it is the director's job to just edit around things that may look goofy or strange.
Yeah.
But I would say that's one of the biggest challenges. And that also just staying patient, because it took us 6 hours to film this one song.
Yeah, I would imagine that a video shoot would be like, as you're performing, it's kind of like acting in motion, because you're ad-libbing while the song's playing, but yet you're trying to convey. It's I'm sure it's nothing like trying to convey to your audience when you're performing and you're just kind of in your element. I mean, it's it's role playing at its best. And gosh, 6 hours. That would definitely test anyone's patience, no doubt.
Yeah, one of the things that the filmmaker told us to do is there were people, off camera that he's like, you probably should try to play to them.
Oh, right.
To try to look natural, because it is really weird not having
very weird.
An audience there.
And also just a big camera right 2 inches from your face.
Yeah, and you're not supposed to look into it or look at the person holding it.
No, pretending they're just not right in your face, breathing in your face.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah.
But fun.
Yeah.
Well, that would take a lot of discipline because, automatically I think it's just human nature when you've got a camera on you. We grow up our whole lives and we're told to smile, but then in something like that, it's like, don't look at the camera. It's like, trying to switch the gears from one extreme to the other and still trying to, remember what you've got to be doing in the midst of it all as well. On top of singing and performing, it's just a chaotic sense of semblance that all comes together in the end and looks normal. So, on that note, I would like to know how did your sound evolve? How did it come to be? Because obviously, you've got a lot of different musical influences you can tell that shine through, but yet your sound is so unique and so different from what you would hear. How did you come to that? I mean, was it just a certain genre or just something that kind of fell into your lap by virtue of what you do?
Well,
Well,
I think Alice and I both come from two different places musically, right, Dave?
yeah. I mean, we do, but
But we still have this. Yeah,
I when Amy and I first met on tour, we would have opportunities to go see music every once in a while, and it didn't really matter what the music was. It could be a karaoke bar, or it could be the orchestra in Leipzig, Germany. We would just go and listen to music. I think as our musical tastes go for people,
they're pretty wide,
pretty broad.
Yeah, very.
But speaking to what you're talking about, how did it evolve? Well, I mean, I guess you could just look at where Amy's coming from. Like, as a professional, she's, a singer and an actress, focused in sort of the musical theater world. And myself, I'm an instrumentalist, coming from sort of, I studied classical music and jazz and arranging, and I've worked in anywhere from like an orchestra to a funk band, like a wedding band to an Indian band.
Yeah.
So when we were looking at each other, like, okay, what kind of music are we going to do? We were just, at the time, actually, I was listening to an Otis Redding box set.
Oh, right, yeah.
There's a really great, I think it's put out by Rhino or Ryko Disc, I don't know, but it's like a 4-CD box set. It's all Otis Redding stuff. And, man, that music is just so great. And it has a lot of horns in it. And, the singing's extremely soulful. And so, I mean, from my perspective, I arranged the songs. And I was looking for a way to incorporate horns because I'm a horn player. I play saxophone, and I know a lot of horn players. And it was something different for me, like arranging for 3 horns. So that's kind of where it started. I mean, we really didn't, per se.
But I think intrinsically that, I've always listened to certain music. I grew up in my house listening to, like, Neil Diamond and Chicago and Barbra Streisand and just a lot of different people. And I think that somehow married that with Alex's taste of music with the horns. So I guess that's what you get the gun show.
Yeah, I mean, that's as good as it's going to get in terms of how we can explain it. I think that, it really came about just because we were able to put this group of musicians together in the city, and it happened to be, a good horn section and 2 great backup singers, great rhythm section. And it's like, what can you do with that? And we're figuring it out as we go along.
We're still trying to figure it out, yeah.
And if you listen to all 3 of the EPs, the short albums that we have out, you can hear an evolution. and you can hear us sort of dabbling with different ideas. We're looking ahead to like maybe do a full length.
And having it be a little bit more succinct in terms of genre.
Yeah, genre and tone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of genre, what do you consider to be your favorite genre to perform?
To perform?
Yeah, or just, I should say, what's your favorite song to perform, rather? That might be a better way to phrase the question.
Favorite song?
Favorite what? Song?
Your favorite song to perform?
What is your favorite song to perform?
I don't.
It's constantly changing because, from show to show, we're introducing new arrangements and new songs, new originals. For instance, last night we just had a rehearsal for our upcoming show in New York tomorrow night, and we're introducing how many different new? Four new songs. One's an original that Amy and I and Joe, the guy I wrote Clearly.
Right.
We just finished that arrangement, like literally this week.
It's really good. It kind of reminds me of a Clearly.
Yeah, it's upbeat.
Oh.
And a lot of horns and just
great vocals.
Yeah, it's a feel-good song.
Yeah, it makes me feel good. So that, I would say, I haven't performed it yet, but I feel like that could be the new favorite.
Yeah, for me it is, it's whatever, we're working on, because you kind of have to, your mind has to be in it, And,
yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I'm in it too much, and, Amy asks me to snap out of it. I'll be like walking around with a cloud over my head. She's like, oh,
as a husband and wife duo, how does that work? I mean, you guys obviously collaborate on music, and and you're together too. And how in the world do you manage to, to kind of have some sort of a personal life that doesn't constantly involve your music, where you can just kind of take some downtime and just be, a couple, and or does that ever happen, being that you're traveling and you're doing shows and so forth?
Well, I think we both have a lot of other projects as well, I think, which keep us grounded, and also, we both have our own, we're independent, but yet we work a lot together. So I think that's what helps us. But it's not easy, Don, because, sometimes when we work together, it's hard as hell. And
we'll fight, we're like songs.
But you know what, we're not talking for 10 minutes. Goodbye.
Yep.
I'm going this way, you go this way, we'll be back in 10. Well, I could imagine that would be, kind of a challenge at times, but the fact that you both have, you came from kind of different music backgrounds, and you had different tastes, and, and I guess it would be good that you came from that beginning, because you've been able to kind of blend together, and that's what makes your music so good, but also probably is a secret to your success as a couple too, because I think oftentimes, when you have people that are working together that are married and or in relationship, and if they both have the same ideas about things, or, I think it tends to be more friction. Because individually you would have your own ideas about, even if you like the same things, you would think, oh, well, I think it should be done this way. But at least if you're coming from different places, you can kind of, it's a balance, I would imagine, or I would hope, and you can take the best of both worlds and blend it, And it does come through in your music. I mean, it's indicative that you guys not only love what you do, but you respect each other, and I think, that's half the battle won in anything like this. Especially when you're going to be working closely together, more often than not.
I have to really agree with you on that. Ever since I actually saw Amy sing in person, it's just, I have a profound respect for like what she is as like a performer, and just as a singer. I mean, it's, as you say, you've already said, like it's just crazy, like how she sings. It's amazing, and like live, to everybody out there, you really just got to experience it in person. It's pretty awesome. And I coming from Amy, I feel nothing but respect. I mean, she has been extremely encouraging about, really accentuating the horns, and I can just tell that she's genuinely, she really likes that sound. So it really, it's a symbiotic situation. Because otherwise this could not happen. You're right.
Definitely.
The two people, they really have to respect each other, because we have our disagreements and we have our big arguments and stuff, and that's just always going to happen. You know how it is with couples.
Oh yeah.
And
any couple, married or not.
Yeah. Sure.
That's one thing I can say. Your videos, in your videos, it is, you can see the, there's two things, pictures and video do not lie, regardless of what people say. They don't lie, and you can see the respect and the way, you two compliment each other on stage when you're performing. And you can, you obviously both love what you do, but you can just see that. And that's always, I think that builds on all of it, actually. And of course, when that's going on, the rest of the band, I would imagine, just feeds off of that, and it just blends and makes for a, awesome performance. And I see that when I've seen that when, I've seen your videos, and it's really a good thing, and it's very positive, and I think it just enhances your music all the more.
Thank you, Dawn.
Oh, you're very welcome. Now, Speaking of doing individual projects, now I understand that you have both been on stage with some of the world's greatest performers, and individually, and you've done a lot of interesting things, and you've been pretty much all over the world, it seems. And talk about some of your experiences in that way. What has that been like?
One of my favorite experiences is the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, which I do every year. And we start rehearsals in a couple weeks, and this will be my 6th year, right?
Yeah.
And it is just, I think it's one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had, just because I'm right in New York City. It's in the biggest theater in the world, the Radio City Music Hall, and the people are incredibly talented, and it's just a wonderful culture to be, just involved with those people, just everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I really love Christmas too. So.
Oh, myself, I'm sitting here now for the radio station. I'm trying to start pulling the music and putting tweets out there and requesting, because I'm starting to build my playlist for the holiday season, and it is work. To be ready for that. Our official date of kicking off for holiday music is November 1. So I'm thinking, I was just looking today, I was like, somebody had put it out there, it's like 15 weeks to Christmas. Like, how many weeks to Christmas? So that means that many less weeks I have to get ready for our kickoff of holiday music.
It's really crazy. I just can't believe that it's coming up so fast.
No, it's coming too fast. And so, but I love this time of year. I love everything about it. It's,
Me
fall
too.
and, and the cooler temps, and as I was telling you earlier, this is such a nice reprieve for us in North Carolina, because we have such hot, humid, horrible summers. You just don't want to go outside. It's just humid, and so it's really nice to start having that transition of cooler weather and fun things to do. Football season, and it's just a great time of year all the way around. So.
Absolutely.
But do you guys ever foresee doing like a holiday album? Do you see that in your future at some point? You guys have got the big band sound. I can only imagine. Oh my God, what an album that would be!
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's like one of those back burner projects. There's
a couple songs already in the works for that.
Yeah,
Holy Night, first one.
Yeah,
we're
working on that.
That's one of my favorite Christmas songs.
That is my favorite, song of all time. Yeah, I like all the novelty songs. I have quite a few favorites there, but that is my favorite traditional Christmas hymn type song. I mean, it's just beautiful. The arrangement. I've never heard a bad version of that song. It's just awesome.
Well, see,
and I can't wait. I hope you do.
Do it.
That's a sign.
I hope you record that, Amy, because I can only imagine what your voice would sound like, because that is not an easy song to sing at all.
No. No, she can do it.
I can do it.
I have no doubt you can do it. So please make a video or something. If you don't have an album ready, do a video.
Okay.
And put it on. That would be great. Well, now let's see. So that's one of your. And speaking of that, the Radio City thing. I have always wanted to go to New York. That is one of the things I said, if I ever got to New York at Christmas time or over the holiday season, that is one thing I would definitely, that would be a not miss. I would
you have
go to that.
You have to do it, Dawn.
I do. That is, I hate to say that I have a bucket list because, that's kind of such a now term, but it is so true. And so I have one, and that is on the bucket list. I want to do that because I've just always, it's so magical. And, Christmas time in New York is to die for anyway. It's just,
it really is. It's gorgeous.
So much to see.
I'll be here for a few more years, so if you come, I can give you a backstage tour.
Oh, you know what? I am seriously going to think about taking you up on that because my oldest daughter, she has always aspired early on in her life. She wanted to be a model in New York, and she just abandoned that. You know how they changed their minds 50 times. And she later on wanted to go to New York, and she and I, we've been talking about this for about 3 years now, but we definitely want to get up there and she wants to go to the fashion district. She's a big fashion, head and loves to do designs, and she's in college right now for that. And so I don't know if she'll end up there one day anyway, but that's pretty much a done deal for she and I, if we can ever get our schedules coordinated to do that. So I will definitely keep you in mind when the time comes. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
So,
that would be fun.
Oh, gosh. Well, getting back to your shows and your sound, when you're performing live, what do you think, what song, and it may be more than one, do you think is your biggest crowd pleaser? What do you think really gets the crowd on their feet and just, they get the most excited to see you perform?
Well, I think at this point, I think it's Clearly. I think Clearly is the one song that, I've asked a few of my friends to, if you had to pick one song that you definitely would always want to have in our set, what would it be? And Clearly is always the answer. So right now, I think that Clearly is just a real big hit, and, that's why we decided to do the music video, too, just because it's the one right now that, I love performing Clearly, too, don't you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's just a good song. So I think it's Clearly.
Clearly, it is clearly a good song. See, that is, and, we're playing it to death on the station. We really are. And, of course, every weekend on Saturday night that I don't have an actual interview, we're doing our weekly show, and it's in every show that we're doing of late, ever since you sent it over, because it's such a good song, and I get so much feedback on that song. So we just continue to play it. So anytime you have new stuff coming down the pipe, just send it over, because I'll be glad to get it on and play it. Now, let's see. Well, what do you think is so far to date? I mean, you guys have done so much in your careers, respective and together, collaboratively. What do you consider your greatest achievement so far in terms of what you do?
Greatest achievement.
Whoa, Dawn.
I know, the hard questions are being thrown. No, I mean, is there like one single moment that kind of sticks out for you guys that you just, is just one that you'll cherish always?
Yes.
Oh.
Well,
I have one too.
Okay, well, you go first.
Both of you take it then,
Well, I was going to say that our last performance, is that what you were going to say?
Yes.
That's what you were going to say. Our last performance, we performed in New York City at Joe's Pub, and it's a highly reputable venue, and it was a really amazing crowd, and we had about 13 musicians on stage because we hired a string quartet as well. So we also, along with the 9-piece, we had a string quartet, and it was just one of those sets that were, everything went right.
Everything went right.
Yeah, and everything sounded incredible, and the crowd was even more exceptionally.
Well, they were very receptive.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, and it was just one of those times where I just won't forget, because it was just a lot of really memorable musical moments.
Yeah, I would have to say that too. Yeah, because it was an exceptional performance because of the the additional musicians, and we decided we would bring the string quartet to the show because we wanted to play our song "I Do," which is on the EP. We wanted to play it live. And then we said, oh, well, okay, we only have them playing on one song.
Right.
So, we got to make maybe at least have two more songs. So I was tasked with coming up with some new arrangements. And
they were beautiful.
And it's just so much fun to, be challenged like that. And then,
to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, see it come true and have really great musicians playing. And, it really went beyond my expectations. So when you have those kind of musical experiences, they really stick with you. So that's why Amy and I think, are both citing the most recent performance just for that, because, it just comes down to those performances. I mean, we both have had our bucket list of things we've wanted to do, and some of them we've been able to check off, like Amy is doing Radio City, so that's perform on Radio City stage. I mean,
right,
that's one.
That's a bucket list.
And that's just kind of. Like I got the opportunity to perform in Carnegie Hall once, and just as a sideman, I couldn't even tell you who the person was, but I was like, hey, that's sweet, I got to perform.
Check it out. Wait a minute, though. Alex did something recently that was pretty awesome. He performed with a band at the White House.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But
wow.
That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
I mean,
yeah.
That's
White House is a bucket list thing, so check it out.
Yeah. So.
That's right. You gotta move to the next bucket list thing too. And and it's interesting that you would say that your recent performance was one of your most memorable, if not the most memorable. And because I have a good friend, and he's pretty much all of our adult lives, he's been in and out of a band of sorts, and he's a brass guy. He started in high school playing, French horn. It stuck with him, and he does a lot of little side projects. But the last band that he was in, I used to go and see them perform a lot, and he would always make mention of, wow, tonight was just, everything was perfect. And I totally understand and identify with that, because not every performance is going to be flawless, but when you have everybody on and everybody is performing to their full capacity and everybody it meshes well, those are very bittersweet times, and they do make for memorable performances, and then you go out to the next performance and you say, oh, you want that again because you've experienced it. And he used to tell me it was such a rush. It was like, it's one thing to be on stage performing, and it's another to have that kind of night, and the crowd's in it, and the band's in it, and everything is just flowing the way it should, and the way you would dream it to be. And then to have it come to fruition is unbelievable. And so that's a rush on top of the rush, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you guys have got a couple of upcoming shows. Tell us about those.
Well, tomorrow we have a show at a venue in New York City called Drum, and it's at 8 o'clock, and it is hopefully going to be awesome, just like our last show. And then we have, what else do we have coming up?
We're performing in Boston.
Oh, right, we're performing in Boston Saturday, September 29th.
Yeah, and this will be our first time performing in Beantown.
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 And it's apparently a little cool jazz club called the Beehive. I might wear my hair like that. I might put my hair.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, why
there
not? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. I mean, gosh, that would be so cool. You
Yeah,
know,
totally.
And now, are you going to have the piece, the string quartet, with you on these gigs, or was that just kind of an isolated incident?
Yeah, no, that was just a special occasion.
And that's not to say that, there won't be other performances where we bring on additional side musicians. But,
it can get pretty pricey.
It's pretty pricey,
Oh, yeah. Well, for the New York and Boston listeners out there, I hope you jotted down those dates and times, because Amy, Lynn, and the Gunshow will be performing in your area very soon. And I wish I was closer. I would so come. So you guys have got to get out to North Carolina, South Carolina.
Too.
Oh, I know. I would love it. I would love to see you guys live. So now, you've kind of spurred you've reawakened the whole, let's get to New York soon thing. So I'm going to have to do that.
You guys got to do it.
That'll be a 2013. I think that'll be a 2013 trip. I don't think I'm going to have time between now and the end of the year to do it, but definitely 2013.
That'd be perfect.
There you go. So now, that's right.
2013 is the year.
I know. Well, what's next for you guys? We've got a little bit of time left. What do you have any? What's in the hopper? What have you got planned moving forward?
Well, moving forward,
anything
we're
special
really going to
work?
focus on promoting the music video, which will be probably released within the next month. And then our goal is to really play a lot more in 2013. It's the year. It's the year for everything.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So just performing a lot
go.
more. Yeah, and also really trying to find those 12 songs for a full-length album and collaborating more with different songwriters and just expanding our horizons in that aspect. Right?
Is there speaking of collaborating, is there any one person or group of people that you both would just love to work with if you got the chance? I mean,
Will you have someone you want to work with?
I mean, she's sitting right here next to me.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good.
John, it's going to be a good night.
But I guess if we had to an outside force, I would say maybe what would be really fun is to collaborate with Questlove.
Oh, Questlove
of the Roots, the Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah.
Another one would be John Brian. He's a producer out of L.A. and he's done some. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. It's a young woman. Not too young anymore. Kind of dark music though.
Dark. No.
I'm losing it. My brain is. I did too much arranging yesterday, so too much writing yesterday. So my brain's
it's just eating up your brain cells. There you go.
Maybe Jay-Z.
Oh.
Why not Jay-Z or
why not?
Or Mark Ronson.
That's who I was going to say.
Who did some cool stuff for Amy Winehouse and who's the other one? Lily Allen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The guy who produced a lot of Adele's 21, Rubin. What's his last name? Oh, that is his last name, Rubin something. Well, anyway,
That's enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of really amazing, talented people out there. And, doors open.
Well, I tell you, you guys you're a great band, you're a great couple, and I think, what you're doing, you've got such a huge fan base already, and I think the opportunities are endless. I think the sky's the limit, guys. So who knows? I mean,
well, we're going to keep on going.
When you start working with the Jay-Z's of the world and the Adele producers of the world, then just remember me. Just say, hey, we were on that little bitty radio show way back when.
We won't forget, Don.
I know. You guys are great, though. I mean, your sound is great, and you're, as individuals, you're great, too. It's so nice to, to have the camaraderie with you and to be able to see you interacting, I see you a lot on Twitter, you're interacting with your fans, and I think that is just so neat how you make a point to, talk to your fans and interact with them, because there are a lot that don't. One, because their fan base is enormous, and they would never eat or sleep, if they try to interact with everybody. But it's nice when you can do that, and that's one thing we love about what we do here on Blog Talk, because it allows us to bring, people like you and connect you with the fans, the listeners, and it's kind of up close and personal, So but yeah, you guys are doing some great things, and I am just so excited about your latest album, and we're going to continue to keep playing it, and just anything new you get, please pass it on. And we would certainly, we would love to have you back a little bit down the road to kind of, especially after video comes out and things are kind of rocking and rolling for you, to catch up with you and find out what's happening. And
absolutely. And we'll when the music video is ready for viewing, I'll send it to you.
Please do. And what I'll do is I'll post it on our website. So,
cool.
Because I have you guys linked on our site to your site, and we'll just link it up, and all will be well.
Awesome.
So, before we close tonight, I want to play your song, Clearly. Clearly It's Me. It's a great song, and for those of you out there listening who have not heard this, you're in for a real treat. This is an awesome song. Amy's vocals are incredible. They're just through the roof, and they will blow you away, no doubt, because it did me the first time. And this song will get stuck in your head. Let me just go ahead and warn you now. You will go to bed tonight, and this will be on your mind. It will be running through it, and possibly tomorrow. So be warned now. But, Amy Alex, I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. It has just been a great honor to have you here, especially as busy as you've been. You've got a gig tomorrow night, my gosh. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time to spend with us and allowing the listeners, us a peek inside of what you guys do. It's been phenomenal.
Oh, thank you so much, Dawn. It was really our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. And we'd like to thank not only you, but also all of your listeners, too, for, supporting us by just checking out the music.
Thank you.
Oh, your music is great. It's you're the kind of folks I like to help because you deserve to be heard. We're doing all we can, but every little bit helps, and in the long run, it's just, I love to promote great music, and you guys have got it. So anyway, but we hope to be talking to you again real soon, and again, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank you.
All right, and everyone who's out there listening tonight, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your time, and just if you're, return listener, thank you so much. If you're brand new to our program tonight, we welcome you, and we hope you'll be back. And our next show will be Saturday night at 9 p.m. right back here. So please feel free to join in if you'd like. And so we're going to close the show tonight with Amy, Lynn, and the Gunshow, and this is also their latest album, Clearly. This is Clearly It's Me. Good night.